how does that? You've got a really energetic stage. I mean, I was just amazed watching Keith. He didn't stop dancing for the entire performance. I mean, how has that changed from like back in the day? I mean, is it harder now to get sort of?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I've always been triggered by the music. Well, we all have. So once that drops, off you go. It's just second nature, really.
Are you as fit as you were in the 90s?
I'd like to think so.
I thought you were.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
In a period when you weren't kind of performing, did you stay fit? Did you kind of, is that part
No,
of your thing?
I got heavily into booze and drugs.
That'll do it.
And flooding myself with that like a sponge. But then reeled it back in. No.
When did you sort of turn that around? What was the trigger for you?
That guy in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says he's
Well,
going
the
to
thing is, yeah.
No, but it's like you can't burn the candle at both ends against each other. Always.
No.
Yeah, because you guys have been doing this since before '92.
Speaking from your behalf, really, you want to, if you're at the front of the stage,
You got to bang it.
Yeah. You've got to be
We're all passionate about this, do you know what I mean? And, we're all, I think that we all want to fight, do you know what I mean? We all want to be on top of our game because we're all representing each other.
It's not worth it, we spent a lot of time with this record making sure it was right, and we wouldn't want to let it down by not being able to perform it live.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really important.
Plus it's your drug, it's everything that you're about. It's, you got to be out there firing, end of story. And you can't go up there, it's like, there's nothing sadder than watching a heavyweight boxer come out and he's out of shape and he gets bashed around, and so you've got to be out there firing.
Definitely.
That's what it's all about.
How do you
we
think?
all had to do it. We all had to.
It is kind of like a team.
Yeah.
You guys support each other on stage.
Yeah, man.
Has to be.
How do you think last night's show was in conjunction with the rest of your dates that you've done? Because I know you did a sold-out show in the UK in December.
How lively it was.
Yeah. Did you like the crowd? And
The crowd was awesome.
Yeah, it was good. I'd say we'd have much more rowdier crowds. I mean, one thing I noticed is the crowd seemed to be, it wasn't, Sue reckons there was quite a lot of young people, but just looking out, especially in the front, there wasn't so much young people right at the front.
No. But I mean, banging. Really
There's a good little thing happening in the middle.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I love that you guys are probably one of the only electronic acts that I see crowd surfers and mosh pits at. I think that's amazing. That's like your energy, people just kind of feed off that.
Yeah. You get that, everywhere. Fucking mad heads just go kicking off.
I mean, it's funny, like, people don't actually dance to our music, even though it's kind of dance music.
That's our fuel.
It's more of a jumping.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people my age grew up to your stuff in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Have you sort of seen how your typical fan has gone from being like maybe like a 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old or something back then to now sort of...
No, man, it's really like, it's weird. It's like when we did the singles album, we just couldn't believe it was like a whole new generation of kids. Do you know what I mean? My daughter was 16, she's into it, all her friends are into it, They've all got Omen on their downloads, their ringtone, all this type of shit.
It's reassuring to know that
it's cool, it's good to make that connection.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Green Day did it.
Yeah, they're coming out with a new album.
Yeah. Interested to hear it.
How did you guys feel working together again for the first time since Fat of the Land?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It was like we were like three little kids in the studio.
Yeah.
And we were like, fuck, I can't believe we're making it.
Totally fueled by it.
Yeah. I mean, when you say since Fat of the Land, it seems so far apart, but to us it doesn't seem.
I was just going to say 97.
I mean, we've definitely recorded tracks in between them. There's quite a lot of unheard Prodigy tracks that sit around. But I think we were just really buzzing for it. I think the initial in the studio, there was so many ideas. We did colours, we did like, but I just wasn't finishing anything for some reason.
We just laying down loads.
I just wanted to get ideas down and not finish them later on.
Yeah. I read that you guys used to do it, that you do one song at a time and then move on, but I think that's why the album feels so cohesive.
We kind of like said, look man, like recording. Before we never used to record ideas. We just turn up.
So you had the recording and all time.
If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, we forgot about it, you know, and
That's-
just moved on. But I think
That's a good point actually, because I think usually when we record something, it's set in stone, it's to finish, that's the version. But we allowed the whole album to sort of just carry on, sort of changing over the period of the year. You know, some of the tracks I went back to and brought up in line with some of the better tracks. You know?
Yeah.
I read about how you paid Liam Gallagher or not Liam Gallagher, Dave Grohl a really nice compliment when you said that his drums kind of, with Keith's vocals, gave the album a focus, and that wasn't even really till near the end of the album. Do you think that it'll inspire you to do collabs with people?
I don't know if that was quite right. I mean, I think what happened with Dave was, you know, for someone who's into sort of listening to like drums, you know, I mean, you don't get the opportunity to hear Dave on his own ever, you know. And we've known Dave for a long time, you know. And he's always shown us really good support. We've kind of supported the food and stuff, you know. He's just a really, you know, he's a good guy, and he was just hoping he didn't know we were doing a record, and he just wanted to.
Oh, he just kind of sent it
Yeah,
to you
he
guys?
just emailed me and said, "Oh, if you fancy doing something, you know, hopefully, you know, might inspire you to do something, you know." And I was like, "Great, it's good timing. We're doing the record." And we like when things happen naturally like that, you know. We already decided we didn't want any collaborations on the album vocally, you know. So we kind of, and actually at that point the album was kind of finished, and then Run with the Wolves, he'd already laid down the vocal on another beat. Because the beat wasn't quite right, we kind of shelved it, but we always liked the vocal. And when we'd finished Run with the Wolves, it actually filled a really important part of the album which wasn't there. It was a real venomous kind of, it was a more venomous side of the record which we really needed, but we didn't see before.
Yeah, I love all the different sounds on the album.
Yeah.
Like, there were songs that like brought me back to the rave days.
Yeah.
Even last night, I was like, "This is the closest I've been to a rave in 10 years."
we didn't want to make a retro record. We're really on that, you know. Like Warriors Dance was kind of like a
That's one of
definite
my
look back to kind of '91. But when we wrote that, it felt really fresh.
Yeah,
it felt
definitely.
like it was like we weren't.
It had a freedom about it, the way it was
Yeah.
written, you know, just going to the old tracks that Liam used to play DJing, and just, you know, watching him pull them out and, you know, referencing them, and, you know, just building it up in the tracks, sort of almost like just through, like a sample track, like a DJ track, wasn't it? You know, just purely to take live, to celebrate 20 years of acid house.
Yeah,
But,
that vocal was
you know,
great.
but in our
Yeah.
part, you know.
The thing is with that vocal as well, a lot of kids won't have even heard that record before, you know. So it's kind of like, you know,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? They won't know the original source.
Yeah,
of
for
the
like
record.
the new
Yeah,
people who
the
like
new-
you.
exactly.
Yeah,
So it's even more fresh for them.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, to us it's got relevance, do you know what I mean?
So it's kind of like they're hearing that, the effects of that for the first time, which is kind of like what we had when we heard that record for the first time. You know?
How do you think that your three individual styles kind of fuse together to make your sound? Because your sound is very different and unique.
Take Me to the Hospital is a good example.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a car crash of all their inspirations, I guess. You know. Yeah, that's a perfect example of that track.
I agree.
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah. You know, it's all about influences come together, you know, and yeah, that's a perfect example.
Even though we listen to different, you know, we've got different tastes in music.
That's why another question I was going to ask.
yeah,
What influences
there's
you
always
guys?
like a foundation. Kind of, we're kind of always into the same kind of feeling from music, or music
Yes.
just
Yeah.
Like your different tastes.
There's always been
kind of.
like, if any of us turned up with an album, although maybe we didn't like as much of it, you know, as the other, there'd always be a track that one of us would like off of it, or that would make each other understand why you were into that
Yeah,
band,
yeah.
even if you didn't like the album.
That's
You know, the crazy thing is that Specials was the first album that we brought. Well, it was Dance Craze, wasn't it?
Dance Craze, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you bought those kind of bought specials by the specials.
But it's weird that we all brought our first albums, we brought one of the specials, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
And they're talking about making a comeback, aren't they?
Yeah.
What do you
You're
think about that?
going to see it, won't you?
Yeah, I'm going to see
Jerry Davis is in it, though, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I kind of, he's the man, you know.
But yeah, for me, do you know what I mean, when I was younger, I always wanted to see the specials. Never saw them. I mean, yeah, it's not going to be the same as when you was 15
Yeah.
or 14 or whatever.
You have to do it, they just do it.
But, you know, I'm going to go and just steering waddling around.
That's what I was like. And that's what I was like when the Pistols were playing Finsbury Park, like, you know, when they came back and played in the 90s. So that I went to that, and that was a mega gig. That was, but the later ones were just fucking.
You know, for me, I'm just kind of it's more just going just to hear them play the tunes, the tunes which I grew up on. Yeah. You know, and Too Much Too Young and Nightclub and things like that. Yeah. Just to hear them play, that's enough for me.
What current stuff are you into? The kind of new bands that you spotted that?
That's such a hard question because as soon as you ask me that, anything that I've listened to recently goes out my head that's cool.
I know exactly what you.
And the only thing,
I must admit, it's someone who likes kind of like the way records are produced, a lot of dark, sort of a lot of shit on the electronic scene. There's a lot of good stuff happening, but I listen to it more on the production level rather than the content. Do you know what I mean? So like you've got people like Noisia from sort of Holland, and who I really like. You know, but that's more on the production side of things. You know
I'm probably the same as them on that.
South Central.
It's more just to listen to the interesting music, what's coming out on the production and how they get the sounds out, rather than the actual tune. You know, or the song, whatever it is. I don't really listen to that. It's just
as far as bands go. I mean, I don't know.
What do you guys think about drum and bass?
I like it.
I like it again.
Always have done.
Yeah. It's really made a huge, not comeback, but it's definitely a lot more present.
Yeah, I mean, Pendulum.
They're heavily influenced by you. I feel like.
Well, a lot of people say that. I mean, I know the guys, and we spent a lot of time in Australia with them. We did a tour, and but they do reference us. But I think like people who know both bands can quite obviously hear that they are more drum and bass than we are. You know? But I think they're doing their own thing, totally separate to us. Now I think it's enough for everybody in the electronic scene. It's not like the rock scene where it's kind of like a lot of the stuff to me does kind of have similarities. I don't know. That's what I mean. It's like if you take us, Justice, Pendulum, Chemical Brothers, we all sound totally different. I think we don't sound the same.
I agree. I was going to ask you about Justice because I was going to say, like, what bands do you think that you hear your influence in? Because I've heard people that say that Justice has your influence in Pendulum, and
I can't hear it, but I can't hear my influences in my music. Do you know what I mean? It's like I like kind of ultramagnetic MCs when I was in Public Enemy. I suppose I've always thought the production is kind of that.
Paul took me out for dinner for my birthday one year when he was visiting from Pendulum.
Really? Oh wow.
We were talking online and he was like, do you know any good places to go have dinner? And I'm like, I can take you. So he took me to this Chinese food place. Paul from Pendulum.
Who's Paul?
Paul, he just married Ebony. He's like kind of shorter with dark brown hair.
What does he do? I only know Rob and Gaz.
Yeah, so it's
the other guy.
The other guy. But yeah, I know Rob too.
Right, it's Paul Luke.
Rob's very shy. I mean, he's
a youngin.
Yeah, he just like.
How?
I tried to speak to him in Australia. He just
stands there.
He just like, you know what to say. But,
it's funny character. Like Liam said, I tried to talk to him. You know.
But they did a phenomenal mix of Voodoo People. They did my favourite, you know, when they remixed Voodoo People. It's like, it's a fucking great mix, you know.
Yeah.
Really good, best remix we've ever done.
Oh yeah.
How's the record label stuff going? Is that something you're working on?
Yeah, it's kind of work in progress really. I mean, we're so busy doing this, I want to give it enough time to kind of do it properly. But I guess towards the end of when we kind of finishing up our cycle on this record, you know, I was going to start thinking about what's going to come out. I've got a few things in mind, but I'm not sure yet. But say for example, like I think I said something about 5 years ago when I started a record label was, you know, need to find, you know, a fucking couple of kids with leather jackets and drum machines, and that's Justice. So I would sign them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Who would be your dream signing? Sort of
well, Justice would be good, but, you know.
Just a bird.
Yeah, just a bird.
Someone who's going to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Because I read that Take Me to the Hospital isn't its own label yet. It's kind of like a side project. Is that?
No, Take Me to the Hospital is their imprint, and Cooking Vinyl, who we go through. We kind of structured the deal like, this is our label. We're bringing our label to you to fund our label. So that's kind of the way it's working. Because when Cooking Vinyl, they were there right at the beginning when we were looking for a new deal. I've never heard of them before, and I was like, typical me. I was like, nah, fuck. They've got what artists have they got? They've got like Blondie and loads of old artists. I was like, no, we need to be on a younger label. And then we kind of thought, we could look at it that way, or we could look at it from we're starting something new. So that's what we did. We kind of brought our shit to them with in mind that we're going to start our label. We're going to be the first release, and then we're going to go from there. But
I was gonna say, what made you guys want to not that you didn't want to work with them, but like, what made you want to not release this album with Excel?
Our contract was finished.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, they're a great label, but it's like I think that helped as well make the record what it is, because it's kind of like, you want people to be excited, enthusiastic, and you couldn't get much more excitement out of, any more excitement out of the guys we're with at the moment. They're amazing, and plus we're using a lot of the same people in the team. Like we've got Sue still, and just a lot of the same licensees all around the world, So
that contract coming to an end was a godsend, Yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah, because it gave you the liberties to kind of do
exactly.
if it's your own label.
Put a line under the last. It sounds harsh, but it's 17 years.
Still really good friends who.
Yeah, it was
friends to the label. Yeah, Excel are a really good label, I think.
Yeah.
They're actually
very proud of us. Do you know what I mean? We speak to them a lot.
Richard and Nick. Nick used to work there. Richard owns the label. They're DJing on our tour.
Yeah. Their kicks like a mill.
Yeah. So it's there's no love lost there. We're all on good terms, and but they don't like me, do they?
What makes you think that?
Well, no one likes me.
That's not true.
Oh no, that's my drug parent.
Do you think you're still scaring parents?
No.
You've still got that left in you? Yeah.
No, I mean to be quite honest, the scary thing is kind of, I don't get it. I mean, I can only sum it up as being intimidation. People being scared of someone who's willing to express themselves. That is me getting off on something I love, and that's how I would behave in any. That's how I behave when I'm getting off on something I love.
I wonder how Marilyn Manson would answer that question. Do you think you're scary?
Yeah.
I wonder if he'd sit there and go.
I don't think
that always works in
does.
your favour, because it was a great publicity thing.
Yeah.
Sort of front pages of newspapers.
But it was all natural though. That's Keith. People forget that Keith hasn't actually changed from the beginning. He was the same person. Do you know what I mean? He just suddenly found a mic in his cupboard.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Said, "Can I do fire stuff?"
I jumped on stage and didn't get chucked off, and my enthusiasm and excitement for that.
Yeah.
It's self-expression. It's kind of, I think that always anyone that's willing to be really honest, brutally honest with who they are and express themselves, will always get the oddball label, the psycho label, the twisted label. And that's what happens, because we're sort of taught to blend in and just behave. Yeah. So it's kind of being a non-conformist. That's scary for. I'm not scary. Yeah. It's scary for people to see someone being
themselves,
being non-conformist.
Which is why so many people love you.
But we were talking earlier about how, at that particular time, they just needed somebody, and you were the guys that they were going to the media, whatever.
But,
just sort of.
I didn't call
that. I think Henry Rollins made a really good statement. He said every generation just needs "fuck you" guy.
Yeah.
That's I thought that was cool. It really makes sense to me.
I've got a quote.
I don't know if we've got one at the moment, like a new one.
Somebody once said, "Keith, you're a man in need of urgent medical attention." Apparently, it's just. I
love that.
I was going to say,
I love that. That's a massive compliment. I get off on that because I've always enjoyed. I'm an attention seeker.
Yeah.
And I have attention.
Yeah.
And that's great. So I've always liked to make. If I can't go in and do something cool, I'll do something uncool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still be different.
Yeah, I would always demand that attention, and I'll do anything to get it. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for sitting with us and talking.
Thanks.
It was great to finally meet you.
Cheers, man.
Sweet.
Nice. Where do you live in New York?
I live in East Village.
What's it like over there?
Thank you very much.